it's Angel and
Donnie.
And today we're going to be coming to you with a funny kind of video just to talk about all of the crazy encounters that we've had as a couple. People do the strangest things when they see us. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but people have done some crazy things when we enter a room. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just start off with it. The very first one that I remember is when we were at Applebee's, and at the time we were just friends, and we were having like our first little.
We were just hanging out.
Yeah, we were just hanging out. We were friends at the time, and this black guy, you know, he walked past our table like three times, and okay, he walked past and he looked, and I saw him look because he stared at the table for a while, for like. If you can imagine someone walking past your table and kind of their head is kind of like this, looking while walking. So you can't help but not notice it. So.
Well, I didn't notice, honestly. Seriously, I was kind of just like right there, you know, she's right in front of me, we're hanging out and having a good time. But, you know, her woman eyes is so good at looking around.
Man, he walked past again, and he looked again, and the third time, homeboy just stopped.
Straight up.
He straight up stopped at our table, and he said,
"Y'all still here?"
"Oh, y'all still here?" And I was so dumbfounded for just a second, and because I couldn't believe that he stopped at our table and had the balls to say that. And it just, you know, when I recovered, it just pissed me off because it was like, what the hell are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish right now? And so I gave him like I straight up gave him stank eye, like what you want? And so he was like, oh, I'm just being friendly. And I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. I was like, man, get your ass from my table, man. Get
so annoying.
And I was just like, and I said, can you believe that? And he was like, and I was like, he was totally trying you. But it kind of just went over Donnie's head. The whole
plan failed.
The whole thing just went over his head, and I had to break it down for him. I was like, dude, like, would you really have done that had I been sitting here with another black guy? It's just.
Yeah, he definitely felt some kind of way where he just had to, you know, the way he was going back and forth to the table, he was trying me. He was testing the waters and just seeing my reaction, and yeah, the guy was so lame.
Very, very lame. And I don't know why we had so many run-ins at Applebee's, because this is like one of 3 incidents that happened at Applebee's with us. The second one is when we came in, and it was at night, about 10 o'clock. And man, y'all know Applebee's have half off appetizers. So
used to, it seems.
Used to. So we was hitting up the spot to get some half off appetizers. And so we walk into the door, and what do you call those people? The greeters, or the hostess.
Yeah.
Okay, she was I think she was a Middle Eastern chick, and she came and she sat us down, and like the strangest thing happened after that. She just went into this whole big discussion about why don't Asian guys date outside their race. And I was just just sitting up there like, cause she was asking him like, why don't Asian guys date outside their race? I never see any Asian guys dating other races. And Donnie was just so like,
I was taken back by it. Like, cause we're there to have a good time and eat, and you don't expect something like that to be asked, from your server,
And I think at one point she was like, are you guys together? Like, are you guys together? And I was like, what? We had a little situationship at that time. So
That's a good one, baby.
So we hadn't really established that yet. So I was like, we friends, and like that. And she just proceeded to, kind of like still question him and ask him all these questions about Asian men, like he knew, like he had the golden book on Asian men and what they thought, and I was just like if you don't move around, if you don't move around, please, and go do some hosting and get away from this table, okay? Homegirl was trying to be cute, and I was just not about to have it. It's crazy. Man. And then the third one was when we had came back again for some appetizers. Another night, and we were sitting in the bar area, and in walk this group of black guys, and they all sat at a table, and immediately, like, they noticed us, and immediately, like, all of them looked at our table, and they started to whisper and say stuff and whatnot.
Yeah, they were probably like maybe a few feet away from us, not too far, and I can definitely hear them definitely talking about us. I can't hear it too clearly, but it was definitely about us. And then you can always, also I felt the eyes on us too.
Yeah.
I was facing away from them, but I knew they were looking at us.
Oh man, and you. Just the tone of their voices and stuff like that, like you can tell that they were talking shit. And I was like, oh Lord, here we go. And so, we didn't pay them no mind, because we just ignore, the foolishness, honestly. And we didn't pay them no mind. We ate our our appetizers, and we got up and left after that. But before we got up and left, two of the guys had got up and went outside for, I guess, a smoke or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so when we were leaving, we walked out, and immediately the guy says to his other friend, and look, he says, and I quote, he says, oh, look at this shit right here. This is why I gotta get the hell up out of Texas. Look at this bitch. And I was like, what?
Yeah, and I mean, he said that to his buddy, but he said it really loud so that, we can definitely hear it. Like, it was so purpose and
I was like, what? I was like, oh my gosh. For real? I said I wanted to say something, but I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna let foolishness ruin our night.
Yeah, we just kept it
moving and went about our business. And needless to say, we ain't go back to Applebee's no damn more. So
that was it.
We had too many incidents at Applebee's, so we just left it alone. And so when it comes to staring, I think that his people got it beat, man.
So there was this one time we were going to this Asian restaurant. It's along the strip, and I had to throw something away. It was like about maybe 10, 15 feet away from me, but just beyond that was a bench, and there sat this really old Asian lady, and I walked halfway to the trash can, and man, this woman's gaze was so strong on me that it petrified me. like I couldn't move. It was that strong. I never felt anything like that, and that it was just the weirdest thing. She had some kind of a weird eye thing on me, and yeah, I was halfway to the trash can. I had to throw that bitch in the trash can. I didn't even finish walking over there, and I just turned around and walked away.
It was so intense. That was such an intense few seconds.
Yeah, I mean, she was standing, way back, and she saw the whole thing, and she felt how intense that stare was.
I was like, oh my God, is she gonna blink? Is she gonna blink? At some point, she didn't. Her eyes watched us as we went into the restaurant, and I had never had someone to stare so hard.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. And it doesn't stop there, because we went to this other grocery store.
Yeah, we were at this Asian grocery market picking up some, I think, fish or something. So walking along the fish department, where all the seafood was at, there was these 3 Asian dudes who worked behind the counter. Okay,
it was old men.
Old men. There was 2 kind of in the back, standing behind this table, and 1 up front, right where the counter is. And I kid you not, he was staring at us the entire way, like we started on one side, and he just stared at us, and as we walked, he followed us, intently, just staring.
Right.
Just staring. Like, his head was where we were the entire time.
And then I kind of went more into the fish mart, and old dude he didn't give 2 fucks.
None
was given. He stared at me so hard. I was like, is this really happening right now?
and then after that, he went to the back where his buddies was, and then he stood between them and was like, you can obviously tell what they're saying without hearing them. He said something like, hey, check out that Asian and black couple over there. And then right after that, it was so obvious that the other 2 were trying to look at us discreetly, but failed.
Failed miserably.
It's just so obvious that they're trying to get looks and just talk about us.
That was one of the funny ones, because they were in awe, I think, because they were like, okay, they had this look on their face like, okay, what is this? What's happening here? That's what their faces read. What's happening? And that's one of the funny ones that we've encountered. What's another one that we've...
Oh man.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. Oh my God. The freaking nail shop.
Oh. Oh. Yes, the nail shop.
Nail shop.
The Asian nail shop.
Where it's full of women Oh my gosh. The day that I walked in there, I've been going to this nail shop since high school because I won't let anybody else touch my eyebrows but Lynn. So I've been going there forever. And I never forget the time I was getting my nails done, and one of the technicians was like, you know how they want to get all up in your business, like why they doing
all about the gossip,
all about about getting up in your tea. And so she was like, so you got a boyfriend, and so I was like, yeah, I do, yeah. She was like, oh, okay, y'all been going together a long time? And I was like, I said, yeah, we've been together for about about 3 years now. And he was like, oh wow, is he black? And I said, no, he isn't. I said, he's Vietnamese. And she said, he's Vietnamese. Literally everybody in the nail shop stopped and looked at our table. Everybody. I was so embarrassed. I said, yes, he's Vietnamese. And so she said, she Homer tried to throw shade. She said, oh, we Vietnamese are very traditional. And I said, oh, he's not.
He's not.
Oh my God. Like, I can't make this stuff up. It's just, like, people are just very interesting. Very, very interesting. And there was another time.
Wait, the same nail shop. I actually was in there. I actually went in there one time with her, and she went in there too.
Actually.
Yeah, but this one particular time, one of the first times, I went in there and I followed you to the back where they would do her eyebrows.
Yeah.
And of course you're walking through the front where all the seats are, and they're all facing each other.
Right.
And we walked down the middle. So, I kid you not, all eyes were on me, and I couldn't take it. No joke. I was walking into Angel. Like, I couldn't walk straight. I was walking into Angel.
He straight up tried to mow me down to get to the room ahead of me.
I was walking pretty fast too, without realizing.
And he like knocked into me like boom, and I was like, dang, babe. And he made a beeline for the room, and one of the ladies followed him into the room, and she was playing it off, acting like
she needed something, or asking the lady something.
Asking the manager for something, but she didn't need anything, and literally she stared at him the entire time that she was in the room, until she finally just asked him something. I think she asked you, do you speak Vietnamese or something, or
yeah,
something like that.
Something like that. What'd I say? Yeah.
And you like, yeah, a little bit. And I think she asked you, were you born here, or are you, from Vietnam, something like that. And she was just trying to get the tea, because my nail technician who's been doing my nails and my eyebrows, Lynn, she straight up asked me, who's his mom and dad? Because they were trying to know who his people were.
Trying to figure me out.
They were trying to figure him out, trying to see if they know who his parents are, so they can talk about it.
Probably talk shit.
Yeah, so they can talk about him and talk about the parents. It's crazy. It never fails. Whenever they see him come into the nail shop, they're gonna ask him something, or ask about his parents or something, because she straight up asked me about his folks when he wasn't there. Like, who is his parents? What's their name? Was she? They really try to get the tea, and
yeah, the first and only time that I've got a what do you call the feet? Pedicure? Yeah, I got a pedicure with her one time, just, I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of talked him into that.
She talked me into it, and so I'm like, man, whatever. So So we did it together, and I guess that was kind of fun. But my pedicure woman, she was just terrible. Like she barely put any of that cream on my leg. She barely touched my leg when she's supposed to be massaging it good. Man, I paid extra for that damn thing, and she barely did anything.
They were so busy.
She was like, you know, she wasn't even looking at me. You know, she'd be like this, and the entire time, and then every like 5-10 minutes, she look up, and then come back, cause she's like, and I can tell she's trying so hard not to gossip, cause she knows that I know Vietnamese, and she's trying so hard not to gossip, but every now and then she was slipping and kind of still talk, you know.
She was trying to whisper to her friend next to her who was doing my pedicure, and you know, they were trying to just, you know, talk very silently about the situation that was in front of them, and it's just so funny to see how people, you know, are just kind of just weirded out for some reason. Like, it's just the strangest thing that they've ever seen. It's quite funny.
Yeah, it's funny and entertaining, but at the same time, it's so messed up.
Yes.
All these situations, like, so
Yes.
messed up, but, you know, you can't help but find entertainment out of it, too. It's like, damn, did that really happen? Or, wow. It's one of those, like, wow, that
just happened.
That really just happened.
Yeah. And I think that's like all of our like crazy stories that we can think of. Those were by far the craziest ones that we experienced thus far.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anything else, baby?
I know there's gonna be more stories to come.
Yes.
Them eyes, they don't stop.
No, I tell him every time, I say, you know, they look at you, but they stare at me. Like, it's unnerving sometimes. It honestly took me, it took me a minute to get adjusted to that. Like,
yeah, having
people just stare at you so strongly. It just took a minute. So, but now it doesn't, you know, bother me or anything like that. It's just like, oh, okay, you know, whatever, whatever. But I think that is all of our stories. When we get more, we will definitely update y'all and keep y'all posted. But
you know, we'd like to hear your stories. Y'all got any crazy stories y'all want to share? You know, let us know.
Yeah, drop it in the comment section. Let us know what crazy stories have you encountered in your relationship. So, thank you guys for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe. We really, really appreciate it. And thank you so much for watching.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.